Hey guys, Patrick here with Window Tinting Business, where we strive to inform, inspire, and improve you as a professional. I've been doing some panel pulling videos lately, and I had a question about how to bottom load because I've done other videos, but I've been doing top loading, and I've mentioned recently that I've been doing a lot more bottom loading than top loading, and someone had a question in regards to how to do it. So today I'm going to show you how to do it. I got this Chrysler 200 2013. I've already removed the door panel. Unfortunately, I can't just pull the seal from the top. The back end is just a little too tight to get it back on. So I had to remove the door panel, and it's in another one of my panel pulling videos, so you can check that out as well. But let's go ahead and get started with how to bottom load a window film. Now, I've already cut my pattern, I've weeded my pattern, and I haven't shrunk my pattern because you don't need to shrink a lot of windows when you bottom load and when you pull panels. It's phenomenal. That's why I started going towards more of this. And in particular, this car is a Chrysler 200, and they got felt seals coming up the sides and right here, and it's deep. I mean, you got a good inch or so before you hit the sides, so you can tuck the edge of the film behind the pillar here. So another good reason to bottom load is to avoid maybe trash and dirt or contamination getting within the film during installation, and especially when something like deep like this, or like I believe it's a 5 Series or a 7 Series BMW, those are like super deep, like 3 or 4 inches, and when you top load, it's just a huge pain in the butt. You end up creasing it like right here and here, and you gotta work it out. So this is just a lot easier. So to get started, I'm just gonna roll the window up about yay. Now, if I'm just doing the install, if you don't have a plotter and you have to hand cut, go check out one of my other videos on how to hand cut. And then this is the, just go to this after you hand cut, and this is how you install it. So I'm gonna go ahead and get my film, my glass wet, and take my razor blade and just clean it off just like normal. Way up and down. And I just noticed there is a sticker right here. Some of you cats don't take them off. Some of you cats do take them off. I always do take them off just because I think it's a much cleaner installation. It looks a lot better. Some people that have been in this industry for a while, they'll keep them on if they're like newer and they're not peeling and it's not going to affect it. But personally, I just think that's just lazy. Just take the time to take it off. Just make sure that when you're taking off stickers off glass, that you're getting all the adhesive residue off. Just like that. Now you still have adhesive residue, just make sure you scrape it and pull up, and then I just either wipe it on my pants or wipe it on my towel. But I scrape and I come up with it, and they come away from the glass. What you don't want to do is you just don't want to just scrape down, because what's going to happen is that adhesive is just going to go to the bottom. Well, that adhesive could get pulled back up during the second part of the, during either bottom loading or top loading, and it could end up embedded in the film. So, and then you might have to start it over, or your work is just not going to look as good. So make sure you get all the adhesive off the sticker, and make sure it's nice and clean. So I've scraped the window down. I'm going to roll it down, and I'm going to roll it back up and stop it where I want to stop. Rolling up and stopping on the up is just a habit of mine. Not with these newer cars, but with the older cars, sometimes the glass would shift going down, and then it would shift back into place going up. Now, if you install it when the glass is shifted down, and you don't stop on the up, then when you do roll the window up, you could get a light gap, and you'd have to start all over on that window. So just out of habit, I always end up. So I wouldn't roll it down and stop right there. I'd go past where I want to go, and I go up and stop where I want, because I know that the glass is shifted on the up position where it's supposed to be. All right, so I've scraped. I'm going to go ahead and wet it down one more time. I like taking my my side swipe here, make sure I clean it off, and just go from the side. Boom. I always start in the middle and go out. That way you move all that trash. And move the trash out to the outsides and down. Okay, then once squeegee it. I'm going to take my Easy Reach, and I'm just going to flush out the edges and wet down the bottom. The bottom you want to wet down because you're going to be going lower than that when you bottom load. So you want to wash out all the contamination and trash and stuff, and make sure it's wet, just because when you start to load, you want it a little wet so you can lube it up, and it'll slide in there a lot easier. So I'm going to go and get my film right now, and then I'll be back. Alright, so now I have my film. I have the liner completely taken off. And you can start from the left or the right, whichever you want, but I like starting from the left. So I want to put the bottom corner in and make sure it's up against the glass. And I want to start sliding down, sliding down. And you want to keep going down until that top corner is past the top of the glass. And then you want to try to scoot it in, just like so. And sometimes you can put a little bend in the film. And you want to avoid the film touching the top of the glass, just because you can have contamination and other nasties get into your film, and that's not what you want. Just like that. And then just make sure your gap is even. I like to keep it between a 16th and an 8th. Double check to make sure that the film is past the pillar so you don't have a gap. Even though there might not be a light gap, some clients wanted the film to go past the pillar so you can't see it, so it doesn't look like there's film on there. Alright, so once it's in and it's set, I'm going to wet it down. Take my side swipe, starting from the center, I'm going to go out. Center, going to go out and down. This is how I've been doing all my installations from recently, for the last, I don't know, 2-3 months since I've been at this new shop. Now that's just initial tack down. Now I'm going to get in here and give it a power stroke, really tack it down. If you're wondering, this is a Fusion 5 handle, short handle, with a Blue Max squeegee. So that's what I'm using here. And once I get the power stroke down, I'm going to take a Bondo card. It doesn't matter which kind of card I have, I just happen to have a blue one. But I cut it diagonally just so I can get that corner into these edges here. And you're just going to go up and down. Start in the middle, go up, and just make sure it's nice and neat. And if it shifts on you, just make sure to move it back just a little bit. Now that's the top half. Roll it all the way up. Now, because these are deep, it started to bunch on me here. Sometimes they're not as deep and they're not going to bunch on you. So just if you need to, just push it down. And again, I haven't shrunk it, so you can see that there are fingers right here. But if you need to, just take it from the edges and push out after you tack it down and see if there's any fingers that'll pop up. All right. Now I typically don't power stroke it on the bottom end just because, I don't know, I just don't, and it looks fine. I'll take my Bondo card and go down with it. I end up licking my squeegees just so that I have a little bit of lubrication so it just doesn't stick on me and I get a dry crease. That's definitely not something you want. But that's pretty much it. And just dry it off, clean it off, and that's how you bottom load. So I hope this video was helpful. If you guys liked it, make sure to comment, share, and subscribe. And I'll be coming out with a lot more videos in the future. So thanks again, and I'll talk to you soon.